Welcome to John Michael's Rockbox podcast, man. Today, so exciting. We have Morgan James has joined us today. Morgan, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
This is look at that background behind you. Look at all those guitars.
I know, right?
Huh?
Yeah, this is you're not even seeing all of them. This is just a selection.
Oh my goodness. And I gotta say, you're sporting the new do. That looks good.
I am. Thank you. I'm still learning how to style it. I recently, for those of you who are new to me, I recently just cut all my hair off. It was like waist length blonde hair, and I turned over a new leaf. I have a new do.
How was that? I mean, sitting there in that chair going like, oh.
Yeah, I was very nervous. I was very nervous because, I was kind of known for the look that I had, and I had that same. I basically looked the same my whole life. I always had that long signature hair, and I was very nervous, but I was mostly nervous that people wouldn't like it, which is not a good enough reason to not try something. But I love it. I feel I'm going to save years off my life of styling.
Yeah, no kidding. It does. It's great. I know how hard it is especially when you're in a public figure like you are. And okay, if I'm going to make a change, are people still going to like me because I cut my hair?
Yeah. And men, not all men, but some men really love long hair on women. And a lot of my fans are men. I like to, it's true. So, but everybody's been so receptive and so supportive. And I think it was all in my mind to begin with. So it was a good lesson to learn.
Yeah, it looks great. You look fabulous.
Well, thank you.
I was, and I got to thank it's Sarah for setting this up. So Sarah, if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, thanks.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Sarah keeps the wheels on the train, or the wheels on the car running.
Yeah. So she sent me, of course, all the stuff ahead just to kind of get acquainted more with you and stuff. And I was looking on your website, which is for you looking, if you don't already know, morganjamesonline.com. So do you mind if I read this bio, just the beginning portion of it? I wasn't going to, but when I read it, I was just like, whoa. So are you okay with this if I read this? All right. So in the beginning of Morgan's bio, it says, let's start with the voice, an instrument through which she can communicate anything, a gift bestowed upon her that she expertly trained, meticulously nurtured, and passionately galvanized into action by an urgency to make real music. Next, the stories, and she has them in spades. Now, they are full of truth and beauty, heartache and thoughtfulness. They reveal colors we weren't expecting to see. They make us close our eyes and relate. And finally, the soul, the emotional and intellectual energy through which these parts are fueled, the special something that prompted the Wall Street Journal to herald her as the most prominent young vocalist to come along so far this century. That young vocalist is Morgan James, and Morgan James is a soul singer. And I read that, and I was just like, my God, who wrote that, Morgan? Somebody deserves a raise.
Yes. A writer friend of mine who knows my music very, very well wrote that, and who's known my entire journey, yeah, thank you so much.
That was it. And seriously, reading that, I knew exactly what he was writing because it's all true.
Oh, thank you.
Listening to you sing is just, and you can see colors, and shapes and stuff. And there's certain people who can sing, and there's certain people who can sing. You're a certain person who can sing. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm not a vocalist. I'm not a guitar player. I can't play piano, but I can appreciate all the above. Right.
Well, we need people like you for sure. We do. I say this every night on stage. What I do doesn't matter much if people don't listen.
Right.
And You know, we need people who appreciate real music and who appreciate, you know, musicians and artists, and every one of us has something different to bring, you know, and bringing appreciation and love of music is almost the most important part of the puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, but Morgan, there are certain vocalists that, you know, you like them. They're great. And I like listening to a lot of different people, but there's certain vocalists, as in you, that have a little something extra, a little more. And I can't really tell you what it is, but but you can feel it. You can tell. And when you're listening, you can feel what you're doing, you know, the effort that you're putting into the singing that you do, because you have a range that's insane. It's great.
Thank you. I hope that's what I would hope for, is that people walk away and feel what I sing, not just hear what I sing.
Right. I mean, it's like going to see a movie and you walk out there, go like, whoa, that movie was great. And you can kind of get the same feeling when you walk out of a show. I haven't seen you live. I've seen a lot of your videos, and if you can get something like that from videos, a live experience, I would imagine, is just because and I always use this analogy when I'm trying to explain that. It's like when I was a kid, I walked out into a ball field, you know, seeing it on TV is one thing because you're seeing it in that screen. Yeah. And then you walk out and it's just this vastness, you know, and all the colors are just insane. The green of the grass is so green, and it's big, and it's like going. And so when you go see somebody like you and you sit there and it's live and you're just, it's like the same feeling that you get when you walk out and seeing something like a ballpark for the first time. And
you know, it's funny you say ballpark. I'm a huge baseball fan, and I love watching it on TV, and I love watching it live. You know, but you don't realize how far away the pitcher's mound and home plate are until you see it live. And everybody thinks, oh, I could be a pitcher. That doesn't look that hard. I could be a catcher. That doesn't look that. Until you see the distances live, and you really understand how, you know what I mean. And so I think that being a great performer and really saying, oh, it's one thing to, oh, maybe they're manipulating something in the studio. Maybe they're manipulating something on a video, but you're not manipulating anything live. It's either that person can do that live or they can't.
Right. Seriously. So how is it for you to walk out on well, I guess maybe we should back up a little bit. In preparation for you to go out and do a show, I would imagine you have your things that you do, your warm-ups backstage and stuff. What's running through your brain? What's running in your mind before stepping out? And
well, you know, at this point in my career, I've been doing it for a long time.
Sure.
And I've been singing for a long time. I've been training for a long time. So I don't have to do a lot of outside of knowing what I'm singing. And that's all the preparation that happens long before. And right before I go on stage, you know, typically I have a million things I have to do right before a show. I have to do a meet and greet. I have to do a sound check. I have to do my makeup and hair. I have to get ready. So all of those things have to happen simultaneously with my own mental prep.
right.
You know, if I'm singing every night, I can do a very, very short warm up because my voice is kind of, you know, already prepped for the next show.
Sure.
So maybe, you know, if I haven't been singing every single night, I'll do a longer, maybe 15, 20, 25-minute warm up. But on show days, typically, if I sing for sound check is my warm up because, you know, I'll be singing for that.
Yeah.
And now it's become a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So any fun stories, anything in particular from all your touring that really sticks out in your mind that you wouldn't mind sharing? You know, something funny, something memorable, anything? I know.
Something funny or memorable?
Either, you know, whichever comes to mind.
Well, you know, I think that touring from the outside looks very glamorous sometimes to people. And I think it looks very easy to people. Oh, they get on a bus and show up and tour, you know. contrary to popular opinion, we are not the Rolling Stones, so I don't have a full crew of people taking my instruments and gear on stage and off stage for me. So we're doing everything ourselves. And
Right.
one time on our first European tour, there were lots of things that went wrong. And a promoter skipped town and took everyone's money, right, in Croatia, which meant that the tour was like upside down. Then we had to reroute, and we got stopped at the Hungarian border for like 13 hours. We didn't have any food. We didn't have anything to drink. Whenever people say that touring is glamorous, I think of these moments like at a Hungarian like rest stop where we were all like, are we going to survive this truly,
Yeah.
And we can walk away saying, oh, that was a fun adventure. But, there are so many things like that. One time my band was driving we needed to go to the Jacksonville Jazz Festival in Florida. We were driving from God knows where, and a vulture or a turkey buzzard hit the window and completely smashed the front of the rental car.
Ouch.
So we had to go and pick them up in the other rental car. And so it was 6 people in a small car, and all of our gear, like the gear was on top of us.
Oh.
To make it to the gig. I mean, there are stories like that all the time. And so I think that if you really have to love tour life to really do it, The dream is always to get to the point where you can have a very glamorous tour life like the Rolling Stones.
Sure.
But not all of us get there. But in the meantime, you really have to love it, because things go wrong all the time and they're always shenanigans, and so I think that when people think that it looks very glamorous, I chuckle.
Yeah. Spend a week with me, you'll see how glamorous.
Yeah, spend a week with me and see also, how much has to get done. When I'm on the road, sometimes I can travel with the tour manager, mostly I can't.
Right.
So I'm the tour manager. I'm handling all the money. I'm handling all the staff. I'm handling the merch. I'm running everything. And I like being the boss. It's true, but it's a lot of work, and it's not just the 90 minutes I'm on stage are the most fun and the easiest part of my day. The rest of the day is very, very arduous.
Wow. Now, see, there's probably that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time with my fans. So I do a pre-show meet and greet. I do a post-show signing meet and greet. And because I think that having that FaceTime talking and meeting with people is the key really to, connectivity and connection is the whole reason that people want to come to shows, spending time with people and getting to know them, but spending time with people and getting to know them takes energy and time and your memory and your focus, and you want to give them. So when I get done with a show, I'm really, really spent.
Wow. Gee whiz. Now we can understand. And for those of you who are listening, Morgan James is on with us, and it's something that, like I just mentioned, I had no idea that you went through all that. I probably, like many, thought that you had somebody to do that.
Well, I have an amazing team. Sarah, you spoke of, my managers. I have a tour manager that handles all the logistics remotely. He's in Europe, so when I tour in Europe, he goes with me. I have an agent that books everything. So I certainly have a team. I can't do it alone by any stretch of the imagination. And I, of course, have my amazing band with me on the road. But the buck stops with me, So at the end of the day, I am a very hands-on person, and I'm going to be handling everything. I handle all my social media. I handle everything on the road myself. So, it's a blessing and a curse, because I love, at the end of the day, knowing that anything that went right, it went right because of our hard work, and anything that went wrong, I have to kind of sleep on that and know that potentially it's something I should improve upon in the next day.
Yeah. Well, still, I like the fact and the aspect that you connect with your fans and you go out and meet, because that creates longevity. And, the simplest little, even just an eye, if you connect with their eyes and a little wave, hi, they're like, wow, she said hi to me, man. you know, and
try to remember. I can't remember everyone's name, of course, but I try to remember where I met someone, where I saw them. I'm really good with faces, and I'll say, "Oh, weren't you in Denver?" And I really try to do that. I try to be present with people. I think that's since I've become an independent artist and I'm not behind which has been a long time now. And I'm not behind a company, you know. No, it's my name and my personality that is on the front, is the front facing part of the business. And so remembering someone's face, remembering someone's name, really means a lot to people. I know it means a lot to me when someone remembers me.
Yeah, absolutely. And good that you jump into it like that. And I see that you do handle a lot of your social, which is great because you post a lot of stuff. And I think
Yes.
that's fabulous. That's a freaking smart way to go about that, because social media is, well, you know, it's like you don't need the big record industry anymore. You just handle it yourself with all your socials.
Yep. Yeah. It's amazing to be able to connect directly with people that way, you know. But it is a part-time job to keep track of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have no doubt about that. I'm going to mention this, and this will be the only time I say this. Um, when I stumbled across Morgan James, and that's who's our guest today, I found you, Morgan, during PMJ. And for those of you who know Morgan, know that it's postmodern jukebox, and and that's when I first heard the voice, and I was just and went like, "Who's that? Who is Morgan James?" And you know, and it was. Can I share it? And I'm not going to share the video. I'm going to share. See if I still have it popped up somewhere.
Which video did you find me?
It was the Maroon 5 cover.
Yes. That was the first video I did with them.
Oh, so that's the one where the range went insane. I was just like, what is that? Who is that? And so I'm screen sharing, and that one that I'm pointing to is the one. You can find this on YouTube, by the way. The other one I think that really took off was All About That Bass.
Yes.
And let me get this up there. And there it is. There's your first, there's the second, and that's the PMJ, and that's all I want to share. So
yes.
That's the only time.
It's been amazing that you know, a lot of people find me through postmodern jukebox videos, and I call it the gateway drug to to lots of other great artists. You know, you find me there, and hopefully you'll find my channel and all my music too. And so I think it's great. You know, so many people have found me that way all over the world.
Yeah. And again, it's social, and in YouTube is a big push for a lot of things. Big YouTube now is like what MTV was back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, when MTV actually used to show music videos.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's how I discovered a lot of music back then. And now with YouTube, you know, it's this, and it stumbled across, it actually wasn't YouTube, it came across Facebook.
Yeah.
And it was like, I must have liked something that was in reference to you somehow. And I don't know what it was, but then there you were. And I was like, oh my.
Well, I'm glad you found me.
And so I share you a lot. And of course, I mean that, of course, through socially.
Of course. Of course.
And again, for those of you who are listening, Morgan James on with us, and you can find a lot of information about Morgan and where she's going to be, what she's doing, morganjamesonline.com. So Morgan, so when you're out there singing, I was thinking about this. Have you been in your performance, and I don't know what runs through your head when you're singing, if you're concentrating on hitting your notes and you know, whatever, but have you ever just had a thought, and it could be anything, something silly that happened that you just thought about quickly that just made you chuckle while you're singing?
Yeah. Oh, all the time. all the time. You know, it's also because I travel and tour with my husband full time. So he's my
Right.
music director and my guitar player. That's why I have all these guitars.
Hey.
And so, you know, anyone who's married out there will know the plethora of inside jokes that a married couple has. So then when we're deliriously tired from touring and or something funny goes on stage, you know, and a lot of my band members have been with me for years. And so you have lots of different jokes going around the band, and it happens all the time. You know, I try to pull it together, but sometimes I'll forget lyrics of songs that I've sung thousands of times, and that will make me laugh. And I think that people love that, you know. I think people love to see the real you.
Yeah.
And sometimes the shows where something goes wrong, quote unquote, are really memorable shows.
Yeah. I know I'd seen that somewhere. It might have been a movie or something, but you're singing and then, you know, just that, you know, and you got to continue on. Exactly. I think that's great. It's fabulous. So your show, 90 minutes ish, usually all the time?
Yep. 90 minutes with encores. Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yes.
A long time to be singing.
It is. Yeah. I, you know, tell a couple stories. I chat a little bit, but it's pretty much 90 solid minutes of singing.
Wow. My goodness, girlfriend. And so how's your touring schedule now? I know you got something coming up. I mean, you're doing what? Jesus Christ Superstar now. Superstar, rather.
I did. I released an all-female recording, a concept album of Jesus Christ Superstar that I produced and starred in. I'm not touring that, but I released it as an album.
Right.
You can find that on all streaming platforms, and it's incredible. All-star cast, all-female orchestra, all-female cast. I'm touring. I'm pretty much always going somewhere to sing. I'll do a week here, a month there, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. So I'm always going to be somewhere. I do a lot of private shows as well. But yeah, I'm going to Texas in a couple weeks. I'll be in Phoenix. I'll be in San Diego, Newport Beach. Then I'm bouncing over I'll be in DC, Lansing, Michigan, Portugal. I'm all over the place.
Wow. So where do you call home?
New York City.
New York City.
You can hear the dulcet sounds of New York City out my window right now. The sirens.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think there's none going on around here yet, but that's all right.
Yeah, New York City. I've been in New York for 23 years. I'm a lifer.
Oh, you're a lifer.
Yeah.
So walking around, people are like, hey, it's Morgan James.
Not really. No. I live in a city full of celebrities, and I also live in a city where everyone's focused. They're going somewhere. But you know what's very funny is that I was in Hawaii on vacation a couple months ago, and someone recognized me in Hawaii. It's so strange, you know. Yeah. But I'm not really a recognizable celebrity face, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just have no, I don't. I can kind of beg to differ. I think I don't know. Do you put the big glasses on and a hat and stuff, and it's like?
Well, yeah, I'm very. When I'm not on stage, I am very like mismatched pajamas, my glasses, my dogs. You know, I'm really in dog walker mode. You know, so. Yeah.
That's right.
I like that.
What corgis?
I have 2 Cavalier King Charles Spaniels.
That's what it is.
And they are the best. Yeah.
I've seen pictures of those dogs. They're great. So being a pet, so you bring these dogs with you on tour?
I do.
I'd imagine. Yes, because I was going to say, it's tough. It's tough being a pet owner. And then with your schedule.
But I bring them with me, and then you always have a piece of home wherever you go.
That's a good point.
You know, because animals are so humbling. You know, they don't care who you are. They don't care what kind of show you had. But they love you just the same. And you also have to, you know, my manager always says that everyone is humbled by an animal because they have to bend down to an animal, right? Yeah. So whether you're a king or a pauper, you know, you have to bend down and greet an animal. And I think it's just good for us to be around creatures like that and to be reminded that we're not the most important thing in the world.
That's true. And boy, do they just love you no matter what.
Oh my gosh. Animals, I get a hero's welcome every time I come home. It's very good for my ego.
Yes. You're the best thing ever.
You're the best thing ever.
Wow, where have you been? I missed you. You've been gone forever.
Exactly.
I know, right? Geez, I know. You know, I would love to have a pet. My schedule is unfortunately like yours. It's just a little crazy, and the only reason I don't is just because it would be more unfair for me to have an animal to the animal than, and maybe one day it'll settle down more, and I can, and I will, because I
The
love
key,
pets.
the key is you just take them everywhere you go.
I'd love to. I
I have
really
a
would.
crazy schedule, but my dogs go everywhere, and it's you just uh, you just embed them into your schedule, and all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, what did I ever do without my dogs?
Yeah, I know.
Just food for thought.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm gonna, because I ran across one through a local shelter, and because we promote it at the radio station where I work, and 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 so I post them socially, like you
Yeah,
do. And
yeah.
there's just one that came across, and I was just like, oh, great! I had to see that picture of that dog. It was the cutest puppy I've ever seen,
Oh
and
my
and
gosh.
I almost I almost called them up. So is this dog available still? Because it was this close. I almost did it. It was hard to say no, but I had
You
to
can
say
make
no.
anything work if you just they become a part of your life in a way that you can't even imagine leaving them home. You just put them. I've taken my dogs and put them in bags at 5-star restaurants, and no one knows they're there. I am so sneaky. I am so like they're just like an appendage of mine. You know what I mean? Like I don't even ask anymore. I just like show up. Everyone knows they're going to be with me, and thankfully they're quiet.
Yeah,
And they've gone all over the world. They've been in opera houses and symphony halls and clubs, and yeah, they're part of me.
oh, that's fabulous. Oh, what are their names?
Luther and Eunice.
Nice. So is it hard picking a name? Is it just something? It's like naming a child.
Yeah, I always have names that I want to name. I already know what I'm going to name my next dog, and I don't know. They're always musical,
Yeah.
references.
Uh-huh.
Or there's something about culture that I love. I have a cat named Boo Radley. I have another cat that's Nipsey Russell. I definitely, my next dog's going to be Mavis. It's
Yeah.
like, there's so many inspired. We had a dog named Shuggy Otis, so they're usually inspired by music or culture.
Oh, that's great. This is great, man. It'd be awesome to be one of your pets and walk around with. I have a great name.
I have to say, my pets live a life of luxury. I will say that.
I would imagine so. Wow. Morgan James, morganjamesonline.com. We look forward to all kinds of great stuff from you. Morgan, I'm hoping that through this first meeting, we will somehow become more friends.
Yeah,
And then down the road, I'd love to have you back because I see the progression of Morgan James. And since I first found you, and now seeing the haircut, seeing your dogs with you, and and that's only because you share socially. And so
yeah,
thanks for doing that.
absolutely.
And for those of you who are now listening and have not yet found Morgan James, it would really be worth your while to give yourself a little time and listen to Morgan's stuff via YouTube or however you stream your music and stuff. YouTube's a great way if you want to watch and listen. And
Yeah, absolutely. You can, and all my albums, I have, 4 albums of original music and soul music, and I have lots of albums of covers as well. And my channel's full of videos, so there are lots of places to find me.
yeah, and why wouldn't you want to? Seriously, trust me. If you haven't heard Morgan James yet, when you do, you're like you'll say, "Where has she been?"
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it really is, Morgan. I mean, let me just say, there's a few female vocalists that just astound me, and you're one of them. You're one of the few that, because I love vocalists in general, but there's just little something more, like I said in the beginning, about it's because of your soul,
Thank
I
you.
guess.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So Morgan James, I gotta say, I appreciate the time, and I would have never thought that after watching you on videos and stuff that I'd be sitting here chatting with you now. But I'm glad that you are here, And there's so much more I want to talk to you about. But I know you've got a schedule, you got things, and your day off, and I want to keep you.
No, it's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah. So I will set something up again with Sarah, and hopefully you and I will become friends, and maybe who knows how many more of these interviews we could set up down the road.
Great.
Yeah, that'd be fabulous. So once again, it's Morgan James. Look for Morgan, morganjamesonline.com. And I would start there. And from there, you can expand out and find more about Morgan James. So thanks again, Morgan. All right. So and thanks. I really do appreciate it. I figured I keep you at a half hour. Half hour is fine. I don't want to absorb it, but I know we can go a lot more, maybe next time.
Sure.
And we'll see, because whatever it is you got coming up. So
absolutely.
Is that music in the back? Is that a guitar or something? Or
that was a motorcycle going by.
Oh, that was a motorcycle?
Yep. It's quite loud here in my neighborhood.
So
do you want me to do promo?
Yeah, would you mind?
Yeah, what's the first one?
Like, hi, it's Morgan James, and I don't know if I say listening or watching because it's both. And I'm on John Michael's Rockbox.
John Michael's Rockbox.
Yeah.
And do you want me to say you are watching and listening, or just?
You could, yeah, because it makes sense, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Morgan James, and you are watching and listening to John Michael's Rockbox.
Beautiful. The last one is, hi, I'm Morgan James, and be looking out for me on an episode of John Michael's Rockbox.
Hi, I'm Morgan James, and keep an eye out. I'm going to be on an episode of John Michael's Rockbox.
And there it is. Golden. That's
perfect.
Fabulous. And maybe next time we can actually meet your husband. We can bring him in.
Oh, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
he's at a session today. Otherwise, he'd be here.
Because he's a fabulous guitar player. I've heard his stuff.
Yes.
So, and lucky you. You got a musician that'll play while you sing. And yeah.
I know. I save on hotels.
Well, okay, my dear. Off you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.